Please allow me to share my screen because I'm seeing only the host can do that.
You can go ahead to share your screen.
The tab is not allowing it. I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
Still waiting. All right. Still loading. Is my screen seen very well?
Yes, Isaac, we can see your slide.
All right. I would like to welcome everyone again to our SDG 3, this SDG 3 webinar. My name is Isaac Alinda from Uganda. And allow me to start. But I would like to first project about the presentation. It's basically more about the young adults because as you know that almost the biggest percentage of the African population is actually more found within the age group of the what? Of the young adults. In this case, for the young adults, I really prefer to look at the males. Yes, because the males actually, for us in order to have the better maternal and child health outcomes, I think we males need to take a step ahead. We lead this wherever we are, wherever department you're working in, despite not being in terms of the health department. When you look at the African context, in most cases, you realize that the perceptions, the attitudes towards male involvement, not only in child care, I use newborn in this case, you'll find that there will be what you call gender dynamics, which will be actually shaping roles and responsibilities in within our households. So really, all the males, like sometimes you push towards this side and you ask yourself, how good really participate in in the optimal health outcomes for the maternal and child health, and how going to really do it so they can have a better health future, especially for Africa. The pics that I used, or the images, those are courtesy photos. I got them from the internet. So that's already a disclaimer, okay? And looking at the next slide or continuation, this study was done by Dunbar in 2014. Particularly just like, in most African settings, women tend to shoulder almost all the newborn care roles, whereas we, the men, or predominantly the men, assume the traditional roles, especially for the economic provision in the house, decision making, most of the things. And here comes something about which I should try to mention about our mother-in-laws and what we call the generational power dynamics, which are going to actually, even up to now, further impacting the newborn care practices. Where does this one leave us, we the young male adults? Where does this one leave the young males actually pushing for the better health future, especially for Africa? That is a question to put in mind. We can go ahead and really explore these perspectives and even the experiences regarding the health regarding the healthcare utilization and even the evidence. For example, like in this study that was done in South Africa at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, it really highlights some of the barriers or some of the issues that actually came up, whereby most of the men or most of the young male adults have the poor knowledge, the negative perceptions, the experiences that were leading to, in most cases, or actually most of the experiences were limited, and even themselves, the utilization of the healthcare services were less among the participants in that study. A case report, that was reported, it is a report actually used in this case. It is called Young and Adult. The report that I used here, it is a young adult and the young adulthood report. It is a healthcare-based report. You find that in most cases, youth who are aged between 18 to 26 years across Africa, if in 2019, they reported almost 53.8% of the adults within that range of 18 to 34 years had at least one chronic condition, and 23.3% had more than one condition. And they went ahead to say the prevalence of any as well as of any other specific conditions actually varying according to any specific subgroup that was then being measured in the study. I brought it up in this case of the young males actually were out there, because when it comes to chronic condition medically, I'm looking at a situation whereby someone has an illness lasting for more than 2 weeks. In most cases, this is where our mental health comes in, affecting us, most of their health, affecting most of the youth. It takes place into so many different categories. Continuation, in this report, they went ahead to say that despite us having this critical age of 18 to 26 years, really have very many implications in terms of healthcare setting, especially in terms of the person's economic security and the health, and even most of the well-being, because this is the time whereby most of the people are actually energetic to carry out most of the things. Most of the people are like owning families in this instance. And then I wanted to bring it out to you very much clearly that I used the Erickson's model for me to mean the young adults. Yeah, despite there being other models concerning about young adulthood, in terms of the medicine, in terms of the nursing, but I'd like the psychological part, whereby for the Erickson's research, for him, he had to quote and say anyone who's between 19 and 39 years of age. And he went ahead and say that, remember, there is no absolute timeline for the young adulthood according to his book that he wrote in 1975. There's something I wanted to coin up in our minds today about sickle cell disease, especially most in African countries. Looking at the global world perspective, almost having 40,000 cases. And you know what? These are just traits. First look at, they went ahead and to say, WHO said that around 2050, more than 75% of these cases will be around in sub-Saharan Africa. So meaning that for us to build a very strong or a very good healthy future for Africa, we need to tackle most of the current illnesses that actually could be affecting most of our societies in this context. I brought in sickle cell as an example among the many. In this case, I went ahead to bring for you something called about the 2015 Institute of Medicine and National Research Council report, which was actually investing in, the report was actually about investing in the health and well-being of the young adults for today. How are we actually going to do it? How are we going to actually really invest in it? It went ahead and formulated very many guidelines that maybe I will try to refer to you in the last part of the slideshow, the last part of the presentation. But according to this report, you find that the young adults showed a worse healthcare profile in both adolescents and even the adults, mostly in their early 20s and even their 30s. Remember to say that most of these young adults, 19 to 19 years to 39 years of age, actually face out of problems that are actually going to be more of preventive. Take an instance, the mental health issues, take an instance into the most of the, I've forgotten it. But meaning that if we could use these opportunities to intervene and promote their lifelong, probably we'll try to build a better health Africa. Similarly, in different countries have what you call insurance policies. Maybe like first in Uganda, the Patient Protection, even the Affordable Care Act, maybe it could be similar like in other countries. I haven't actually read more about them, but there's still much which has to be done to improve the care these patients receive. And once they have access to the care system, we as the healthcare workers at some point may not try to bring it out very well or bring about that coordinated care for our younger adults to thrive very well and maybe nature up, come about with the problems actually they could be be facing. And I brought in this delay for our healthcare insurance policy in Uganda. It's starting next year. Actually, it's not this year, but next year. This will be also the same applying other different countries across the globe or more so in Africa into this context. Once this policy has been implemented or it's been worked upon, it could ease the accessibility of of the services. Another thing that I want to bring about to you is about the transitioning. Not only in the chronic states, someone has a chronic illness, wherever you are, from the pediatric level, or from the younghood to the adulthood, we will face so many things. And you realize that for us in order to establish an evidence-based practice and even directions for research, we really have to have that systematic issues. We need to have that systematic set of issues in transitioning from the pediatric to the adult care for individuals with sickle cell. Sickle cell, I use it as because it's my major area where I do actually work upon. And you find that we highlighted some of the main things. It's a study, and whereby there's limited access to adult providers with the skills and even the interest in caring for the people with sickle cell disease. We still have the poor communication and even fallout between pediatric and even adult providers, and even the insurance coverages and even reimbursement for care and even condition is actually still low in our settings. Similarly, when it comes to other also countries across the continent, we still have these issues. People are actually referring to get out of the mothers' homes and go and make their own families because of the having not because of the fear of taking the risks, but some of these ones could also be adding it up on it. For Treadwell in 2011, went ahead and say for the family and even the patient issues in transitioning included lack of skill development for successful transitioning into the adulthood. Yes, most of the youth or some adults, I may call it youth, or I may say young adults, really like this. They don't have the training for this. You know how they've been brought up, and most of the absence of financial independence, fear of the unknown, and even the increasing mobility within this age. And remember that this is the age whereby you have to do most of the things, risk everything that you can do, and make a living. So if still the things that actually still in presence, how are we actually going to build a better health Africa for the future? I went ahead to say a multi-perspective. I went ahead to put this thing that a multi-perspective on the barriers, facilitators, and even future directions show that while adolescents and young adults with sickle cell disease are at high risk of morbidity and mortality, when transitioning from the pediatric to the adult care, in most cases, so many things have been highlighted, which will actually be worked upon in this case. here is whereby I bring to you what means by an actions to plan. An actions to plan means we really want something that is really evidence-based. How are we going to plan for the youth? How are we going to plan for the younger adults? Any other persons actually out there in different countries to really build a better health future. It's whereby I had to think about this, me and my team, investing in the health and well-being of the young adults towards developing evidence-based interventions. And why did we do this, or why are we doing this? Is because the very many national institutes, even most of that one of UK, aimed at developing a set of evidence-based practices for the medical and even behavioral health care, including intervention for the young adults. And for most of the countries actually being advised to most of the Ministry of Health is we need to get the research that is really built on the existing and established evidence-based practices for the general adult and even the adolescent populations, so that we can really identify the best practices for them and even hold a promise for being effective in this age group. Although the effective behavioral treatments and strategies for the adults, the values of these treatments, specifically for the young adults, is largely undemonstrated because of the clinical trials and even the research studies. Most when it comes to the marketing side, or when it comes to we as like the vaccinologists, we find that establishing a proper, let's say, drug coming up, for the age group, in most cases, they tend to really study a lot is the young or the pediatric and even the older. Whereas we, the young, with the adults, the youth, in most cases, we're not actually touched upon. And this relieves us where like we'll have insufficiency in terms of establishing effectiveness in the young adults, or what I may say the results in this age group, because we tend not to be actually big head upon in this case. I went ahead to say, of course, that there are barriers in this case, despite often being a distinct target audience for the marketing product services. Young adults are infrequently treated as a unique population in health policy, program design, even research, and whereby often grouped either with all adults or with adolescents, if our matters are going to be handled in this case. And the report went ahead and revealed the particular needs actually to worked upon the health risk profiles, the transitionings from the pediatric to adult care environments, and really the young adults should be viewed as a distinct subpopulation, the health policy, planning, programming, and even research. Whereas this slide is just a continuation highlighting about the problems, about the challenges, whereby, of course, we are in the face of, yes,
Isaac,
please.
Sorry, you have less than 5 minutes, 5 minutes more.
All right. Despite us being facing the recurrent global structuring, the masses information, have the communication technologies and so forth, really all of these changes in how the world's really changing, we as young adults are still facing them, and we need to adapt so that we can build our better, healthy future. I brought out this study, like it happened in Kenya, and what I liked about it is that the potential and nature and form of simulation, the potential, nature and the form of simulation to the point, okay, and it's all about the roles, the gender roles. People are really still facing the stigmatization, and this study went ahead and really highlight broader social programs targeting the underlying gender and even economic inequalities. In this instance, here are our mothers actually, here are our children who actually need to be worked upon so to get the better health outcomes of them. And more so, the future studies are using implementation science frameworks to understand the local and even understand the local context and even identify strategies first intervene and improve on the what? On the transitioning and improve on the transitioning programs. I went from where I'm working right now, we are having an empowerment program for the younger adults so that we can try to improve on the maternal, so that we can try to improve on the maternal and child outcomes. We are looking at how we can really address the attitudes and impediments regarding the chronic care among people living with sickle cell disease at Mulago National Hospital here in Kampala, Uganda. And we are using the theoretical domains framework and even the COMP model. In this case, we're looking at I'm trying to summarize it. We're looking more of the behavioral aspect of our youth today, or of our young adults in the healthcare system, how actually going to be dealing with them, how going to really motivate them, put up opportunities so that their behaviors actually be influenced so that they can achieve optimal and child healthcare outcomes. And of course, we aim to provide these young adults with knowledge, skills, and good attitude towards providing health chronic care. Then our objective, wherever you are in the healthcare field, we want to actually promote active involvement in the caregiving to foster atmosphere that will have long-term, sustain an impact on the maternal and child healthcare outcomes. That is the courtesy photo of my team doing the job, one of the outreach communities here in Kampala, Uganda. Of course, we're doing different things. We have educational workshops, we're doing awareness campaigns, and really want these initiatives. They could be either in Kenya, not only even in Uganda, wherever you are in your country, probably, you all can foster an atmosphere that can support an active involvement in the caring. Sorry. Something that's missed upon my last slide. There's something I wanted to bring upon. Sorry. Yeah. I think I really missed that, but I think I'm going to really explain this. Wherever I, like, no matter the country that you are, we all can be able to achieve better health outcomes for our mothers and even the child. We as the young male adults or any young adult who is actually out there have so many things we can actually do. Living alone the dynamic world, living alone the culture, putting it aside, but all can achieve the better health outcomes over there. Thank you so much for listening to me. That is my contacts on the screen. Thank you so much, our dear moderator. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Alinda Isaac. That was a wonderful presentation. And I hope as participants in this platform, in this webinar, we have been able to learn and gain one or two insights. Very quickly, for the purpose of our time, we're going to be moving to the next speaker. I want to believe Mr. Rabiu Abdulwahab is ready for his presentation now. Over to you, Mr. Rabiu Abdulwahab, if you're ready with your presentation for the next 30 minutes. Please, if you have any question, you can keep writing down your question. The last session will be for question and answers after the third speaker. Over to you, Mr. Rabiu.
Okay, go.
Mr. Rabiu, are you there? Rabiu Abdulwahab. I want to
I
believe.
think Abdullah is still having some other
Yeah,
network
Abdul
issues.
Wahab is,
Maybe you should.
yes. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, participants. It seems Rabiu Abdul Wahab is having some technical issues. Probably it could be network problem or device issue. We are sorry about that. This is not intentional. We are deeply sorry. It seems we are going to move on to the next speaker. That's in Abate. Abate, are you there? Abate. Isaac, can you please confirm if Abate is here with us? Isaac.
I'm still looking around.
We are very sorry, everyone. This is not planned for. This is not what we planned for. You know, the issue of network and internet in this part of the world, Africa. I just pray and hope we are going to get it right someday. This shouldn't be happening at this time. Rabiu, Abdul Wahab, are you there?
I think Mr. Abdulhab is now on.
Rabiu, are you so sure? I think Rabiu is still not ready for us. This might be due to technical issues from his side. I want to believe that could have been the reason. Oh, now we have Mr. Rabiu Abdul Wahab. You can see his slides on the screen. You have the floor, please, to make your presentation. Rabiu Abdul Wahab, I can see. Please kindly unmute yourself, Rabiu.
I think in
Hello,
order
everyone.
to save time, in order to save time, why not if those with questions should let's open the forum for Mr. Isaac to for Q&A so that
Um,
we why
Hello, hearing me now?
um, hello. Let us keep our calm. I
Hello, are you
understand.
hearing me? Are you hearing me now, please?
Yes, we
yes
can.
Is that Rabiu?
Okay. Good evening to you. Good evening to my fellow sustainable leaders. Good evening, good afternoon, depending on your location. I'm here to present a theme on the workshop for today. The topic is on the empowering maternal nurturing children and building healthy future. As initially introduced by my moderator. So thanks for having you on today on the 17th September 2023. This is the second presenter for the group 3, which is health, sustainable, healthy for all. Then I would like to start with the introducing the what is universal health coverage. Universal health coverage is the overview of it, of universal health coverage. Universal health coverage is about ensuring that people have access to the healthcare services they need without suffering financial hardship. So, and the Universal Healthcare Coverage Target 2030 will eliminate preventable maternal and child death, strengthening resilience to public health, ensuring reduced financial hardship linked to illness, and strengthen the foundation for long-term economic growth. So when we look at this, the target of the SDG and the target for universal health coverage, they are going together. All the mission and the vision, they are encompassed together to achieve all these the sustainable target by the end of even before the year 2030. So the essence of the universal health coverage is to enable each and everybody in the universe have an access to the health, irrespective of the gender, irrespective of the age, socio-economic, and other differences. When we look at the universal health coverage, is a journey with 3 objectives: equally in access. So each and every individual must have an equal access to the health services they render. Either a child, either a female, either a male, either a neonate, either anybody, irrespective of any barriers. So, and then to improve the quality. So that health system that is going to be delivered to anybody, it has to be in a high quality, because if it lacks a quality, it may lead to other complication. And also financial risk protection. Financial risk protection is a way where individual can contribute either through NHMIS like in Nigeria and other health insurance scheme that develop in the world, like UK, they are using health insurance scheme, and other countries in Africa. So in that regard, it has to be without putting any major in terms of financial to spend much more on the health system. So it needs to be protected that financially. That is one out of the aspect. Universal health coverage is defined as all people receiving quality health services that meet their needs without being exposed to financial hardship in paying for the services. As I earlier mentioned, so the scope of is centrally but not exclusively concerned with financing. It is concerned with coverage in general, and so concerned with all barriers to coverage such as legal, organizational, technological, informational, geographic, and cultural barriers. Universal health coverage and sustainable development goals targeted by the year 2020. In order to achieve that, it has to strengthen health system where increasing access to and improving quality of integrated primary healthcare services in Africa. So, like during the alma mater of primary healthcare, where it has been agreed that each and every political ward must have a primary healthcare services where all the people within that community will access that healthcare service, that primary healthcare services, without suffering in terms of distance or financing or other barriers that may lead to the non getting the primary healthcare services. So I will focus on the nurturing children. When you look at the topic, it says that empowering maternal, nurturing children, and building future. So this presentation will focus on nurturing children. The specific goal of maternal and child health workshop is to educate participants on best practice in perinatal and postnatal care, childbirth, and infant care. So when you look at this, initially any pregnant woman, we are going to see what are the best practice that the pregnant woman need to undergo even before antenatal and after the postnatal, after the delivery, during the child delivery and infant care. In this regard, each and every pregnant woman need to attend the complete ANC to check her health status, whether she will be able to deliver by herself using SBD or she will get a cesarean delivery during the delivery. And also during the delivery, it has to be received by skilled birth attendant. And also that after the delivery, during the ANC, during the delivery and after the delivery, mother has to revisit the health facility to check the level of her progressive and also the development of the child, and also to ensure that child has received appropriate care during after the delivery. Example, for growth, for immunization, or attend all the routine immunization, and also to measure the growth of that child using growth monitoring and promotion. And also the intended impact is to enhance maternal and child well-being by equipping attendees with knowledge and skills to ensure healthy pregnancies and earlier childhood development, as I earlier mentioned. Maternal and child health is a crucial aspect of sustainable development goal 3, good health and well-being. Some of the major features of SDG related to maternal and child health include: 1, reducing maternal and child mortality. The goal is to reduce the global maternal and child mortality ratio into the minimal level by ensuring that mothers have access to quality healthcare services during pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum, as I earlier mentioned. 2, ending preventable deaths of newborns and children under 5. The focus is on reducing child mortality and preventing death from preventable diseases and conditions such as pneumonia, diarrhea, malaria, and malnutrition. These diseases are the main child death during the after the delivery and either within 28 days or during the 0 to 59 months. So especially malaria, when you look at the malaria, the high burden, most of the under 5 children are vulnerable to malaria. So by ensuring that like using social behavioral change to sleep inside the long-lasting insecticide mosquito net, and ensuring receive SMC, that is seasonal malaria chemoprevention drugs during the high rainfall where the malaria have an high in its peak period. And also, when you look at the third one, universal access to reproductive health services, healthcare services. It aims to ensure that all individuals, especially women and girls, have access to affordable and quality reproductive health care, including family planning, antenatal care, and skill-based attendance. So initially, when you look at the child health, is actually determined from his or her mother, because when that mother undergo a proper healthcare service, a proper reproductive healthcare, and other with affordable quality access, the child will also be developed in a good way. So, and the maternal and child health, ensuring safe pregnancy, childbirth, and postnatal care of mother, as well as promoting the health and well-being of infant and young children through access to comprehensive healthcare, nutrition, and early childhood development services. STI HIV prevention and treatment, promoting comprehensive strategies for the prevention, testing, and treatment of sexual transmitted infection, that is STI. Example, gonorrhea. We all know that if a pregnant woman has a gonorrhea, that infection can lead to the child, and also it can cause a blindness to that child, because she may transmit that bacteria, that gonococci bacteria, through congenital effect, and during delivery, it may go directly to the child and lead to the blindness and affect the eye of the child. So female genital schistosomiasis, and this is also one of the neglected tropical diseases that has been identified, which is caused a lot of gender-based violence to the young children, which when they grow with it, unknowingly to them. But by proper identification, it can be prevented. So, and also the HIV and AIDS, as well as addressing stigma and discrimination associated with these infections. In the case of HIV, once that woman during the pregnancy deliver at the healthcare facility under the supervision of the healthcare experts, that child cannot get the HIV virus. So that one can be protected. And also using immunization coverage, and all the routine immunization has to be undergone, especially on those diseases that are preventable. So as I earlier mentioned, and then the family planning also, as I explained, and adequate nutrition. So adequate nutrition for mothers and children, ensuring access to nutritious foods, and promoting breastfeeding, support optimal growth and development, reducing the risk of malnutrition and stunting. In this case, if the child has nutritious food, especially with our local foods, so we have to emphasize on using our local food like vegetables and other nutritious food that can help the child to grow. And also we need to keep mobilizing on using exclusive breastfeeding for the children, so that they will grow healthy without getting any infection by taking water that is not hygienic, and other using hand sanitation. And adequate nutrition for mothers and children, ensuring access to nutritious food. So strengthen healthcare system, build a robust healthcare system, including skilled healthcare professional, infrastructure, and essential medical supply is vital for providing effective maternal and child healthcare services. And we all know that even if there is a structure without a human resource for health, that facility can serve as a mortuary, because any child that can brought to that facility, if the healthcare service providers are not available, are not skilled, so he or she may end up getting another diseases or complication, or may lead to death. Emotional well-being, mental health, safety, immunization, as I earlier mentioned, healthy habit. So this, we need to emphasize on keeping these practices to the children so that they will not get themselves into harm or leading to the other, putting them into danger and diseases. Ensuring routine immunization, healthy habit, and also that those children, we need to give, we need to keep communicating with them to see how they are. And also by avoiding harmful practices like female genital mutilation, gender-based violence, incest, child forced marriage, rape, sexual assault, and other harassment for children. Because if that one can develop in their brain, can just become, they become distorted and disrupted. When they grow up, they will not grow well like their own colleague. Advancing health and services and happiness for mothers and children through male engagement in the house cause can also go a long way. Education, socialization, limit screen time, positive role modeling, not nutrition, as I earlier mentioned, hydration, physical activity, regular checkup, support and love, accurate use, behavioral, social behavioral change and communication. This also will go a long way toward the health child, the children health, and reduce the burden of the diseases. So these are the fact sheets that is being developed by the WHO. When we look at the most of this that we earlier mentioned, like malaria,
Rabiu,
pneumonia.
you have 5 minutes more.
Okay,
Minutes.
thank you. Look at these indices. Fact sheet on children maltreatment. A quarter of all adult reports having been physically abused as children. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 13 men report having been sexual abused as a child. So as I earlier mentioned, if that child has been maltreated or using sexually abused or maltreated or gender-based violence, it can go a long way. He or she will grow with that in their brain, which may affect their performance either in schools, development, education, and productive to the society. So, and also preventable child maltreatment before it starts is possible and requires a multi-sectoral approach. So in these SDGs, we have to work together as a team by connecting all the other SDGs with SDG 3 so that we'll go to prevent such occurrence of maltreatment. And also the flagship on pneumonia. Pneumonia account for 16% of all death of children under 5, all killing 909,20136 children in 2015. Pneumonia can be caused by either viruses, bacteria, or fungi, and also it can be prevented using immunization, adequate nutrition, and addressing environmental factors. So that environmental sanitation, personal hygiene can go a long way toward preventing pneumonia. Fact sheet children reducing mortality. 5.5 million children under the age of 5 years died in 2015 using, okay, more than half of these early child deaths are due to conditions that could be prevented or treated with access to simple, affordable intervention. So when you look at the goal of the SDG, it has been developed from the Millennium Development Goals, which is ended in 2015. And with this regard, actually children health can be prevented. Infant and young children feeding. Every infant and child has a right to good nutrition according to the Convention on the Right of the Child. Undernutrition is associated with 45% of child deaths. Globally in 2015, 156 million children under 5 were estimated to be stunted due to too short, that is too short for age. 50 million were estimated to be wasted, too thin for height, and 42 million were overweight or obese. So in this regard, each and every child need to have a nutritious food. And diarrhea disease. Diarrhea disease is the second leading cause of death in children under 5. It's both preventable and treatable. Each year, diarrhea kills about 525,000 children under 5. And who is the most at risk of mortality? The newborn. 2.7 million babies die every year in their first month of life, and similar number are stillborn. So, in order to prevent stillborn, each and every mother need to attain a proper antenatal care so that she will be monitored. And also Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the United Nations in 2015 and to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all children. The SDG Goal 3, Target 3.2 is to end preventable death of newborn and under 5 children by 2030, as I earlier mentioned. In conclusion, remember that each child is unique, so it is important to tailor your approach to their individual needs and preference. Regular communication with your children, along with patience and consistency, will go a long way by nurturing their overall health and well-being. Recommendation. From today, all we have a role to play toward ensuring the sustainable, healthy generation of children by giving our quota to achieve SDG 3 target and universal health coverage before 2030. The government should use the palliative funds to enroll children and vulnerable population into insurance scheme. So instead of giving to the caregivers, that funds has to be diverted to have a sustainable way where we can, in Africa, where we can develop our vaccine for immunization and using a domestic and also using domestic resource mobilization. So the African government should put everything into consideration and start production of vaccine for safety of our children today, tomorrow, and the next generation. Domestic resource mobilization through philanthropies, government, and other individuals must be strengthened in Africa for sustainability. And thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. That was a wonderful session by Rabbi Abdul-Wahab. If you will agree with me, you all will see that it has been a good presentation thus far. Thank you once again, Rabbi Abdul-Wahab. That was very insightful. That was very impactful, and that was full of knowledge and information. Thank you. Now, moving on to the next speaker. Like I said, as we all know, we have 3 speakers. We've had Alinda Isaac. We just concluded with Rabbi Abdul-Wahab. Our next speaker is Anderson Abate Ali. Abate Ali is a medical doctor, and he also has a master's degree in public health from Ethiopia. He is from Ethiopia and has been working in Ethiopia for about 8 years. He has 8 years experience. He has been involved in several public health projects. And he is also a professional who has detailed experience working around maternal and child health sector in Ethiopia. So with joy, with the knowledge friends this afternoon, I welcome Mr. Anderson Abate to make his presentation. Abate, you have the floor. You can go ahead with your presentation now for the next 30 minutes.
I'm in there.
Can you hear me?
Anderson.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You can go ahead with your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. hello, my fellow brothers and sisters. I will try to talk about maternal health. Well, 30 minutes is not enough to talk about this huge and long-lasting problem. But I want to emphasize on the historical development of the maternal health and the magnitude of the problem. I don't think we give it enough attention for the review of the problem. So I want to emphasize on the historical development and the magnitude of the problem as well. Okay, to begin with the historical development, in 1994, there was study. So they found out that maternal was the most effective part of the health sector. Like a person touched as sometimes queries and research because the mortality was high, even the care was not adequate, it was forgotten and a negative tragedy. So in 1985, there was a conference in Nairobi. Then human rights is accepted as human rights. So that it wasn't recognized. Then after 2 years in Nairobi, there was a global conference at that time.
Abadi,
Yes.
please, can you kindly work on your audio? The audio is poor. Can you try to improve on your audio? We barely hear you well.
Okay, I will try. Okay, now is it better?
Please speak to your audio, please.
Okay, yeah. Is it better now?
It's still poor. Still poor.
Okay.
If you can just try to work on your audio so that everyone will hear you very well.
Okay, I'm trying.
I think it's a bit better. I think it's a bit better now.
Okay, good. So
all right.
Okay, good. So begin so in maternal and that's our time now. So in around 1985, there was a study. So they found out that the maternal mortality was neglected. No one was giving enough care, enough attention, enough study to address maternal mortality. Imagine it was in 1985. So there was a question in research. So in the same year, there was a conference in Nairobi. The study already confirmed for women. So at that time, they recognized that women's rights are human rights. To show that women's rights were not recognized. So after again in Nairobi, there was a conference called Global Safe Motherhood. At that time, the problem of maternal COVID-19 mortality was seen as a big deal. Was they start to give a little bit of attention for this program. So again, after 2 years, international institute on human health, which was held in Brazil, and then they did a productive certification. They found out that a productive certification was a serious health concern for women. And there was a changing conference which was held in Cairo. It was International Conference on population development. It was roundabout to change also the policy. They start to lead population with poverty, and they brought to the table that it's important to have a link between the population and the poverty. So these are the two important issues. Started to be in practice since that time. So every setback should be free of corruption, infection, every finances should be intended, every cost should be present. So the new concept was they have to focus on individual groups like women, men, and young people. They all have different SDGs. Before that, all humanity were not differentiated. Like humans, they give birth, there is a pregnancy, there is reproductive associated infections and diseases. So these things should be differentiated from the men and the young people. My colleague was saying that on the 5 children, the mortality is high, the code different. So they start to individualize them and then address things through types of like the fetus, the infants, childhood, adolescence, reproductive elderly. So this policy change came in place at that time, and it represented a major step forward in current thinking about the sexuality and reproductive. So the new concepts were population issues are based on standard approach rather than democracy. That is like I said, one maybe a 90-year-old old person will not have the same needs, the same physiology, the same health-related challenges. So this idea came at that time, and then acknowledge connection between population and health, particularly reproductive health, and their linkage with development. Then contributor for this Cairo paradigm shift was the women's improvement as that time, the International Human Rights Convention. It was they recognized reproductive rights as part of human rights, and then the incidence of the pandemic. And then in 1975, the World Conference on Women was held in Beijing. They affirmed the definition of reproductive rights, agreed at 1985, and called upon us to consider reviewing the laws and to abolish the law which punishes women for having illegal abortion, and they extend the definition of reproductive rights to cover sexual. So the other most important thing, by 2015, the universal access to full range of comprehensive reproductive service, including family planning, announced gender equality, equity, and women's empowerment, universal access to education, especially closing the gender gap in the primary and secondary education, because the number of male children who attend school are much more higher than women than childless. So there was a universal improvement to narrow the gap. And then reduction in infant, child, and maternal mortality, and full integration of population concerns into development strategies and planning. So in 2000, there is a Millennium Development Goal. They set a goal aims at targeting 15 15 years, which was until 2015. But even in the Millennium Development Goal, there was no place for reproductive health. So reproductive health was still forgotten even in 2000. And there were some movements to incorporate it. They couldn't got that chance. So until 2005, the sexual and reproductive health community didn't succeed in quest to add universal access to sexual and reproductive health under the maternal health goal. Despite the previously affected the community funding, visibly the family planning continued. But in September 2015, the 2030 agenda was set for Sustainable Development Goal. At that time, for the first time in history, reproductive health, right, and the sexual and reproductive health are incorporated to the Sustainable Development Goals. So under SDG 3, which is health for all, plus again under SDG 5, which is gender equity. So it is represented in two SDGs. So this maternal and the sexual and reproductive health is just like a 7 years project. It's again international attention and so on. So it was really a forgotten and neglected sector. So as per the Millennium Development Goal, SDG does not acknowledge the sexual right. Still there is an issue to acknowledge a sexual right, but at least the sexual and reproductive health has gotten better attention in 2015 than before. So here, they found out they said it is a tragedy, a forgotten energetic strategy in 1985, that it takes like 40 years to incorporate it into a program to address it in a better way. So, operational review in candidate of the General Assembly, training development who maintain active in primary education in the majority of countries, and the maternal total rate fell by 47%, and the global rate is by 26% because of family planning. But about the action of the maternal total rate, we will see it in detail. I mean, in figure of how quite seems okay, but there is a lot of things to be done. But the progress has been unequal and fragmented, and the new challenges that have emerged. So again, I can say is this a maternal? If you see the figure, it seems entirely African problem. Like in developed countries, the problem is negligible. Maybe that's why it was forgotten for a long period of time, because girls and women in developed countries are not suffering because of maternal health as compared to girls and women in African countries. So this is roughly the main events which leads to the development, the incorporation of maternal and child health in the Sustainable Development Goal. Until 2050, it wasn't in one of the programs. So it is really a new initiative. So this is a universal declaration of human right was in 1948, but it takes 40 years to incorporate reproductive health human right as a human rights. So the woman in the maternal health is really that behind. So the definition of reproductive health is not heavily about reproduction. It must be viewed as three interconnected domains. So the first one, it is a universal right to have to get access to reproductive health, to keep reproductive health women in the world. It is a universal right. So a universal right was adopted here, but it takes a lot of time to implement it. The other one, women's empowerment. It is part of women's empowerment, and it is also provision. So reproduction, you have to provide reproductive service out of any other area. But it's not only health, it is also a universal right of any development, plus is part of human empowerment. Physical, the physical well-being, safe pregnancy, and surveillance, safe and effective contraception, safe sexual life. This is some of the physical components of reproductive to have to be compliant for other gynecology problems, to prevent complications which lead to maternal mortality like preeclampsia, labor, bleeding, and so on. A mental well-being. So reproductive health has a mental well-being component, which means depression, mood problem, which could be related with pregnancy or a postpartum, menopause, which is a natural thing. So this should be considered as a reproductive health issues, and we should be given attention. There is another component, a social well-being, which includes social pressure, stigma in connection with infertility, AIDS, fistula, female genital mutilation, early marriage. These things can cause stigma, so it should be addressed under social well-being part, and that could be restricted harming the reproductive health of women and men. For example, gender role, like in some part of the country, the gender role which is given for women can affect the reproductive health, which is under the social well-being, and the power of the woman to make a decision to get a medical health issue. So, implications, people are always trying to sustain and takes the right to have to reproduce, competition which they have to successfully and people are able to sustain that. This is the sexual component of the reproductive health. Okay. Men and women should be informed and have access to safe, effective, affordable, and acceptable methods of family planning and safe choices. Family planning is also part of sexual and reproductive health. The right to have access to appropriate health service that enable women to go safely to pregnancy and childbirth, have a healthy infant, which affects under 5 infant mortality rate, which was raised by my
Abate,
yes.
You have 8 minutes more.
Okay,
8 minutes to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I'll try to go fast. And access to the service. Okay, so the sake of time. The age range for the of the target group for reproductive health, we divide it into 3, like women, child age, adolescent, under 5 children. So under 5 Kiran was covered, so I will go to women will engage. Each has its own reason, like women in child engage is prone to have a productive sexual transmitted infection, pregnancy, plus pregnancy related complications, and so on. And adolescence of cross-sex, I'm in this pregnancy occur during adolescence, and for that pregnancy to occur, interaction between male and women is necessary. So male also has its own contribution. Unsafe abortion could be there. The consequence of that may result in infertility in later age, so it should be addressed also. So, reproductive health is a basic human right. Everyone is entitled to the right and freedom, which is under universal declaration of human right to attain the access to reproductive health, have contraceptive choice, have appropriate information, and make reproductive health decision without discrimination. These all can affect the maternal health, and it is contributing for maternal health, which is really how in our countries. Okay, so before I run out of time, I want to go through the magnitude of the problem. So this is a WHO approach that every day around 840 women die in pregnancy in China. Above 99% is in developing countries, which means it is a problem of majority of African countries. And maternal mortality is higher in women in Canada and among poor communities. So, like this. Because of the SDGs are interconnected, especially each SDG has its own impact on the maternal health. Between 2016 to 2030, this is the plan of SDG, the Sustainable Development Goal, is to reduce the maternal mortality ratio by less than 70 per 100,000 cases. So in 2017, 63% of production group women they had access to contraception. In 2017, 1 in 26 children died before reaching 5. This is 2 years after the implementation of the goal. And now it is in 2021, the number is so we have to address our progress. Like the plan is there, the programs are there, bringing tangible disasters, and 5.4 million children died below, like in 2017, 406. Half of these are in sub-Saharan countries. Again, this is African problem, and the number is almost now. It is 5 billion now. So, what is the effect of this? We ask ourselves. So, in Kozan, 1 million was acquired worldwide in 2019, which is every day 1 million skies. And in Kozan, 220 million have HPV, human papillomavirus infection, and around 7 million people were living with HIV. 17 of the number to 39 million, and there was almost a million deaths related to HIV. After the implementation of the SDG, again the number is low, but is not as low as expected. And the other thing, 2/3 of the percentage occurring lower in countries, like half of them are African countries. And the main cause of that African should be HIV and AIDS. So Globally, an estimated 289 days was occurred in 13, which is 2 years before implementation of the SDG. After implementation of this SDG, the number is almost it is 230,000. So still the problem is there. Even with this of this, 62% was sub-Saharan African countries. And here, the adult lifetime risk of maternal mortality for women who are living in sub-Saharan African country is the highest in the world, which means 1 amongst 8 women may die because of maternal death. When we compare it to the developed country, which is 1 in 3,700, which means being women in sub-Saharan African countries occurs. So we have to deal it, and that's why it is called a neglected tragedy. No one gave the attention it required. If you have 100 women, 4 of them will die because of the maternal child's which is not the case in other parts of the world. It is also possible to manage it. So in 2020, this is recent data, sub-Saharan African had maternal mortality, like 545, which is the average when we compare it to foreign developed countries. Imagine 545 women out of 100,000 who gave birth will die of maternal complication. This number is almost 0 in developed countries. And in fact, sub-Saharan Africa alone accounts for 70% of the global maternal deaths in 2020. Can you imagine that 70% of the global death is happening in sub-Saharan Africa? So this is really a tragedy. It is annoying. Is also, it shows that the effect was poor. So I try to see trends from the beginning, but it is all the same. The mortality is high in Africa. For me, it seems entirely an African problem. So each of us has to do something about it. From 2000 to 2015, there was a significant progress in the reducing globally. It is average. Some countries may have high, some countries may have low. It is the average. But starting from 2016, imagine in 2015, SDG was introduced, and it has a maternal and child has a sexual and reproductive component. But after the implementation of SDG goals, the average rate was almost stagnant. The reduction was not significant. And so the plan was to reduce the maternal mortality to make it like below 70 per 100,000 in 2030. Right now, the average is 227, which is from the beginning, it is low. But if you see the average of the reduction, it is 2.1%. To achieve this goal, we need a reduction by at least 3.4% per year. We are remaining only with 6 years to meet the deadline, but the progress is not promising. Our progress is not promising. And imagine 70% of cases in sub-Saharan African countries. So we are the main actors here to tackle the maternal problem. So this is my last slide. If you see the top 20 countries with highest maternal mortality ratio, you can find only one country which is not Africa. South Sudan, Chad, Nigeria, Central African Republic, Guinea, Liberia. If you go like beyond, it is all African countries. So when I say it is entirely African country, African problem, we are the one who is suffering from this problem. So we should be the main actor to advocate, to find a solution which is a sustainable one, and it is not also like a one you can't live maternal issue for just for health sector. It needs a multi-sectoral collaboration to save the life of children and others who are living in African countries. If you go and ask like help from Australia, their maternal mortality is like below 4 or 4, so it is almost negligible. It is not a medical issue. So we Africans are the one suffering and paying the expensive price. So we should find a solution. So what I want to ask for my colleague, other SDG team members, to contribute your part for this neglected and forgotten program. Like, for example, SDG 1 says no poverty. You have to think of how to contribute to reduce maternal death in your SDG. So I believe each SDG, if you think in each SDG there is a place to contribute to reduction of maternal death from us. So thank you so much. My take home messages, please go and see your country's status about the maternal health and incorporate some solutions in your respective SDGs. So it has work together to reduce maternal mortality. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Deshaun Abate. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation. Even just that, I'm sure many will agree with me here. The audio wasn't clear enough. But I know you have a beautiful presentation and we were able to relate with your slides. And I believe the slides has already been made available to everyone here. And if need be for us to send out the slides, that will be done, I can assure. So I believe we've all been having a wonderful time. We've learned a whole lot concerning this topic, empowering maternal, nurturing children, and building a healthy future. And we need that right now in Africa. You know, so many things are happening around the health sector in Africa right now, and we cannot afford to be the backbenchers. It is we ourselves that are going to develop our continents. We are the one that we write our own stories and ensure the realization of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals by year 2030. Wow. So does anybody have questions, comments, contribution? The floor is open right now. We can ask our question. We can make contribution. Anyone with contribution? Isaac, I hope you're on ground. And Isaac.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm on the ground. I'm listening.
Yeah. So, fellow SDG experts, we await your questions, your comments, your contributions, and feel free to also share what you have learned so far, because I believe we must have learned one or two things about empowering maternal and child health. You know, so please, if you have questions, let's try as much as possible to share our thoughts, you know, what we feel about the webinar And if you have any comments, knowledge is not limited, knowledge is not restricted to anybody. We can all learn. We are all here to learn from each other, from ourselves. Any question? Isaac?
Yes, I can hear.
I don't know what's going on. Our
Maybe
participants are not asking questions.
maybe
Or is it that the lecture is so perfect and everything is good?
I think everything is just wonderful. So I was trying to see if I have any question. I discovered that majorly what I would even want to ask has been clearly explained. So to me, I think everything is perfect. Just appreciate the speakers for this wonderful presentations, and for our moderator. I think you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mohammed from Niger State, Nigeria. I hope I got that right.
Yes, yes.
Wow. I can see a comment from Kabelo Puki from Lesotho. Thank you. The presentation from all the speakers were so clearly. I have learned a whole lot. Thank you. We appreciate. So you can let us know your comments, your contribution. Also, as a participant, if you know you have one or two things to say concerning the topic, please feel free to share. We still have some couple of minutes. Let's hear your contribution. Okay, Kenya, Kesta, you're raising up your hand. Please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Kesta, Susan, you have been a wonderful participant, even in the platform. Please, I'm so keenly to hear from you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening from.
Good evening, my Kenya sister.
Everyone.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm so happy SDG 3 sustainable leaders for such an awesome job done, especially from the presenters and the hosts. You have great hosting skills. This has been so insightful, so impactful, powerful presentation from all of you people. Let's continue with the same spirit. It's now time for us to implement the new things that we've learned as Africa, for us to forge ahead and reach Vision 2030. 2030 with the SDGs. I wish all of us all the best, and let us continue with the same spirit that we had here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. I think we lost the audio. Suzanne. Isaac,
hello?
Can you hear me? Hello, sir. Suzanne. We lost your audio towards the end of your comments. I can like to hear your last part of the comment again.
Okay, sorry for that. I am requesting all of us leaders to unite and collaborate and work together towards a healthy
the network.
Africa, especially when we are talking about us to implement new things from your presentations. So let us implement. Let us collaborate. Africa is big and it can be small if we hold our hands together. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Susan. Thank you, Susan Kester. Like you are right on that. Like I said earlier, it is us Africans that we are going to write our story. Nobody is going to come down to Africa to develop our continent. It is Africans. We are the Africans ourselves that we are going to ensure we come up with a better and a beautiful Africa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We could, like you said in your comment, there's a need for us to collaborate together. There's a need for us to network together. Thank God for technology. You can see the speakers are from different parts of Africa, and to a very large extent, you are able to, come up with a beautiful presentation. Thank you so much. Do you have anybody? I can like to hear from our brothers and sisters from Zimbabwe. I can see Kudazi, Kuze, Sharon, Kandemiri, Camera Rose from Malawi. We can like to hear from you people too. Okay, someone is.
Good evening.
Okay.
Good evening from Malawi.
Good evening, my Malawian sister or brother. A brother and sister there. Hey, Rose, that should be a lady there. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you to all the presenters. The presentations were quite rich. I think just an addition in terms of the presentation on universal health coverage, that's one presentation I was so particular in terms of paying attention to the details. I really liked it because I think I'm more aligned to whatever presentations was done under that one. And one of the issues, I think, when we are talking about universal health coverage, I think we also need to look into the issue of accountability, where we also need to focus on issues of the maternal health audits, because when we are talking about the target, those numbers have also to tally with whatever is happening on the ground. So when we are talking about the universal health coverage, we also need to emphasize the issue of accountability. That's one addition I wanted to make. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Rose. The issue of accountability, that has been noted. Everyone has listened. In terms of talking about the universal health coverage, we should take into consideration the issue of accountability. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Camera from Malawi. Thank you so much. That is quite appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. That was wonderful. That was lovely. That's lovely. That's lovely. Yeah. Kester Suzanne said that's absolutely true. That's true. That's true. The issue of accountability needs to be looked into seriously. Thanks for that wonderful insight, Rose from Malawi. Any other person? Sharon Kandemiri from Zimbabwe. Do you have anything for us? Rita Litaba. Our participants are not, thank God for Kester Suzanne. Thank God for Rose, Camera. They give you wonderful insights to what has been added. Oh, I can see the comment of Rita Litaba. The presentation was okay, well done. Wow. Speakers, thank you. You've done a wonderful presentation. That was wonderful. Everybody is giving good comments, and believe you me, I had my full concentration all through. I learned a whole lot. Thank you, Rita Litaba from Zambia. Thank you for the comments. Sandy Aka from Cameroon. Any comment, any question? Let's, we have a couple of minutes. Let's, enjoy this to our fellow Africans. Oh, Kabelo Puki to everyone right now. Going to have another workshop with another different theme. Well, Kabelo, I don't know yet. That will be decided by the IDEF team line or plan of action. So I might not be able to give a solid response to that now. I can see Sandy Aka from Cameroon. We can like to hear from you. Oh, you're welcome, Kabelo. You're welcome. Welcome. Joy Danla Dibaku from Nigeria. We can like to hear from you, please. Joy. I so much love the contributions from our fellow sisters from Africa. I'm having a feeling of Africa right now. You know, hearing people from Zambia, Kenya, Malawi, it's actually a wonderful feeling. And I hope one of these days I will someday I will visit these locations. Because I know very soon we are going to have that Africa of our dream. The Africa we really want. And it is going to start by us, from us, you know, irrespective of the leadership problems a few of the African countries are going through right now. But then quite sure we can make things right, and we have started. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
So good evening to everybody, depending on where you are, whether it's afternoon or evening. I want to actually specifically thank the moderator. Well done, sir. You're doing a good job. I must say, some of us will have to come to you for to be tutored on how to be good moderators.
I'm blushing. Thank you very much.
And then I also want to appreciate the three presenters. It's very glaring that maternal and child health is a very key thing in Africa. And it's unfortunate that we are still recording deaths, either under 5 mortality or for women. And I just want to encourage everybody in SDG 3 that it might look as though what we are doing here doesn't count, but it's huge. So if you can do what you can do where you are, wherever you are working, and I do my part as well, trust me, Africa will be great again. I want to actually, I appreciate ADF as well for the opportunity for us to meet from different countries, to come here to rub minds and then to share ideas. And when we are able to tackle this, then we can achieve this UHC that we are all targeting by 2030. And then, like somebody said, we'll all be held accountable at the end. What did you do after these 6 months of training? And I pray that in the end, all of us will be proud to say we are leaders and we did our part in achieving the SDG. Like yesterday's class, somebody said, our tutor said, you cannot just go and feed people and you say you've tackled a particular SDG goal. We need to do something that is sustainable. So aside accountability, I'm also out in sustainability, that whatever we are doing, wherever we are, we should ensure that those measures we are bringing on board are things that are sustainable. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Joy. That was quite appreciating. Thank you so much. That was a very wonderful comment. Thank you. I really love that. And I can see the comment. I can see the comment of Kabelo Puki. I'll be sure happy to host you guys in the mountain kingdom of Lesotho. Wow. So there's a mountain kingdom of Lesotho. I would love to see that. And also, thank you for the comment, Kenya. Kester Suzanne. Thank you. I say amen to your prayer, and you too, and everyone here. I believe you are all great, wonderful people here. I'm quite sure of that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful time. We have a few minutes to the end of the session. Does anybody still have anything to say? We can like to hear from our brothers, from our sisters. Sunday Aka, thank you. Sunday Aka from Cameroon. Thank you. That was quite appreciating. Thank you so much.
Please, I wish we have was there? I can't remember her name. She's been very active on the group. I'm sure she may probably have some things to contribute.
Who is that?
Rukaya or something. Rukaya, she's been active on the group.
Yes, Roima.
I don't know if she's here. Yeah, Rukaya or something. I don't.
Yes,
she's been very active. I wish she can at least say one or two things.
Well, it seems she's not here, because if she's here, she will come out to say one or two things.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But the likes of Kabelo Puki and Susan have been doing wonderfully great here. They've been also very active in the platform. Please, who is Kavasta? Who is Kavasta? Is Kavasta here? She's here. Is she here? Is Kavasta here? I hope Kavasta is not trying to go undercover. Oh, Ruka, sorry, Rukaya. She's not feeling fine. Oh, sorry. Okay, Kavasta did not join. Sorry, Rukaya, she's not feeling fine. I wish you speedy recovery. Please do well to take good care of yourself. Sorry about that. So far so good. I think I enjoy the company. I actually enjoy the company of everyone, the speakers, everybody. I don't know, before we go, maybe any of the speakers have anything to say. Rabi, Abdul Wahab, Isaac, Abate. Does any of you guys have anything to say to our wonderful people here, to our colleagues, to our fellow SDG advocates? Before we have 5 minutes more. I just want us to make the best out of this time left. Isaac.
All right, maybe I just want to thank everyone for joining in and really, listening to the whole presentation. And I pray and I call upon everyone, let's all work with each other wherever you are, especially with the country. Let us all build for the healthy and better Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you for that. Once again, sorry, Rukaya. Rukaya is not feeling fine. Rukaya Jaffa Suleiman, we can try to reach out to her. She says she's not feeling fine. That's why she can't talk. But I'm quite sure she followed all of the sessions from the 3 speakers. I wouldn't know if I'll be right to say we can close the session 4 minutes to the end of the actual time. But I believe we've all had a wonderful time here. Can we now say an end to the session for now? Will that be fine?
It's okay.
Susan, I want to hear from you. Kabelo, I want to hear from you too. Okay, we can end the session. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful time with our fellow African brothers and sisters, like never before. I actually had the African feelings today. I'm proud to be an African, and I'm also sure that everyone else here too, that we are proud to be Africans, doing things together despite variation in geographical locations. But thank God for technology. We've been able to come together to share ideas, to brainstorm, and to share knowledge. For me, it's actually a wonderful feeling. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, everyone. I think we can now call it a quit to the webinar. And I look forward to the next session if given the opportunity. And I want to say, every one of us at the top, I want us to know, every one of us here, we are actually going to get crossover to the next stage. No one is going to be left behind. None of us will be left behind. We all are going to have these certificates by the special grace of God. All right. Yeah, I am proud to be an African. I'm also proud of you. All right, I think we can now end the session. Bye-bye. Catch ya.